Well, I ripped and dug out burrows on a sandy below hill. Eradicating rabbits doesn't take a lot of skill, but a boy born in the Mallee doesn't find them hard to kill. No self-respecting farmer lets a rodent eat his wheat. He'll shoot 'em and he'll skin 'em and he'll dress 'em up to eat. But since the spread of mixo, he's almost got 'em beat. And I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. Well, little town dogs howl at the morning train, where a cocky makes a living on 12 inches of rain, where his woman provides and it's rare to complain. And I still love the smell of that sandy soil. Some say it's dusty, some say it's gold, 'cause it grows the sweetest fat lambs the market's ever sold. And I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. No, I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. Where you could lose an ear on dark opening day, when slickers bring their shotguns from miles away and shoot the life out of shags and swans that fly their way. Where a bloke grows as stocky as a Mallee bull, where they come from miles around to see the tractor pull, when the paddocks are clean and seed silos are full. And I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. Well, I've ripped and dug out burrows on a sandy Bullog hill. Eradicating rabbits doesn't take a lot of skill, but a boy born in the Mallee doesn't find 'em hard to kill. Still, they'll never be as rare as a quandong tree. My grandma made some jam for my brothers and me. They're like the Mallee fowl you hardly ever see. But I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. No, I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. No, I don't mind at all if you call me a Mallee boy. I regarded my show as either a lounge room or a campfire. And with that approach, I know that, because I know, like for instance, a fan of mine would love to be able to sit around the campfire with me and I'll just sing a song to that person. That's when they'd be most relaxed and probably when they'd enjoy it most. And that's the kind of atmosphere I like to create, and I think that's a relaxing atmosphere. It's not a big time thing where everybody's on edge. It's something where, gather around, folks, I've got a few songs to sing you, and that also relaxes me. And I want them to know that I'm just one of them. I'm not nothing special. I'm lucky enough to be able to write a few songs and sing, but it really is another Aussie relating things to them in their environment and in their language. And I like to encourage other people to do the same thing. But the thing is, of course, I'm most alive when I'm on stage. I really believe that. It really is a great buzz. In spite of the fact that I'm a songwriter, I might make social comment, or I'm a musician or a guitar player or a singer, the bottom line is entertainment. And I learnt the joy of that when I was a little kid. I sang a little song on a ukulele called Old Sour, you know, I did allow, and people laughed, and I guess I learnt very early that it is fun making people enjoy themselves and having that power to make people enjoy themselves. And so the bottom line always is entertainment, and that's where all my record sales come from, I believe, and that's the reason I started writing songs. I didn't write a song till I was 24, and that was Old Man Emu. And the reason I wrote these songs is because I wanted to entertain people with songs about this country and about the things that I feel and you feel.
Pastel red to burgundy and spinifex to gold. We've just come out of the mulga where the plains forever roll. And Albert Namatjira has painted all the scenes, and a shower has changed the luster of his land. And it's raining on the rock in a beautiful country, and I'm proud to travel this big land like an Aborigine. And it's raining on the rock, what an almighty sight to see. And I'm wishing on a postcard that you were here with me. Everlasting daisies and a beautiful desert rose, where does their beauty come from? Heaven knows. I could ask the wedge-tail, but he's away too high. I wonder if he understands it's wonderful to fly. And it's raining on the rock in a beautiful country, and I'm proud to travel this big land like an Aborigine. And it's raining on the rock, what an almighty sight to see. And I'm wishing on a postcard that you were here with me. Cannot be described with a picture, the mesmerizing colors of the Olgas, or the grandeur of the rock. Uluru has power, and it's raining on the rock in a beautiful country. And I'm proud to travel this big land like an Aborigine. And it's raining on the rock, what an almighty sight to see. And I'm wishing on a postcard that you were here with me. Don't go looking through that old camphor box, woman. You know those old things only make you cry when you dream upon that little bunny ride. It makes you think that life has passed you by. There are days when you wish the world would stop, woman, but then you know some wounds would never heal. But when I browse the early pages of the children, it's then I know exactly how you feel. Hey, it's July and the winter sun is shining, and the Cootamundra wattle is my friend. For all at once my childhood never left me, 'cause wattle blossoms bring it back again. It's Sunday and you should stop the worry, woman. Come out here and sit down in the sun. Can't you hear the magpies in the distance? Don't you feel the new day has begun? Can't you hear the bees making honey, woman, in the spotted gums where the bellbirds ring? You might grow old and bitter 'cause you missed it. You know some people never hear such things. Hey, it's July and the winter sun is shining, and the Cootamundra wattle is my friend. For all at once my childhood never left me, 'cause wattle blossoms bring it back again. Don't buy the daily papers anymore, woman. Read all about what's going on in hell. They don't care to tell the world of kindness. Good news never made a paper sell. There's all the colours of the rainbow in the garden, woman, and symphonies of music in the sky. Heaven's all around us if you're looking, but how can you see it if you cry? Hey, it's July and the winter sun is shining, and the Cootamundra wattle is my friend. For all at once my childhood never left me, 'cause wattle blossoms bring it back again. I'm not in the mood for laughing, and I'm not in the mood for blues, and I'm not in the mood for gambling, 'cause I'm not in the mood to lose. I'm in the mood for staying home and kicking off my shoes. Hey, I'm in the mood for loving, and I love you. I'm not in the mood for a party or watching a video, but I'm in the mood for music as long as it's way down low. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? Hey, I'm in the mood for making love to you. Here I'm in the mood for making, I'm in the mood for making, I'm in the mood for making love to you. Hey! I'm not in the mood for smoking or drinking a bottle of beer, but I'm in the mood for whispering sweet nothings in your ear. Hey there, you with that melting smile, bring your body over here. Hey, I'm in the mood for making love to you. Yeah, I'm in the mood for making. I'm in the mood for making. I'm in the mood for making love to you. Yeah, and I'm in the mood for loving. I'm in the mood for loving. I'm in the mood for loving, and I love you.
Well, the cafe as a kid was, I guess, is more like, it's like for an adult, it's the pub, you know, the pub is the centre of town. But for a little kid in a little town, the cafe was the centre of all activities, is where we got out. If we stayed at school on a rainy day, the pies and pasties came from the cafe, you know. It was where you raced during interval of the movies, you raced to the Boomerang Cafe, you know, and it was the first sort of time you got at all romantic, you know. You could slide into the old style cafe seats and you know, experience the legs touching and all that for the first time. It was all great. It's also where you picked up your local paper. If you'd missed the news agents during the day, you had the name on the paper. It was the place where we first experienced fish and chips in the town when the Greeks finally came to town and bought the Boomerang Cafe. It was also later on in life. It was the cafe window that put up the football team, and you'd come down and, you know, with the fingers crossed to see if you made the A-grade team. And it was all up in the Boomerang Cafe.
At the Boomerang Cafe, where I first met you, with lipstick on your lips and vinegar on your chips. At the Boomerang Cafe, where I sat down beside you. You remember, my darling, you thought I was a fool as I rolled a cigarette. You thought I was too old, but I bet you don't forget the Boomerang Cafe, where I first met you. Do you remember, my darling? Was it long ago, or just the other day? You played with the sugar, and I didn't know what to say. Or was it just a daydream, they'll never run again? Memories with you. At the Boomerang Cafe, all I could see was your brown eyes that would change the world for me. And the Boomerang Cafe changed the world for you. Do you remember, my darling? I recall it was raining, the heavens tore apart. Or was it just the lightning and thunder in my heart? At the Boomerang Cafe, where I first met you. Do you remember, my darling? before the dollar and before the pill, I went to this rock dance in Swan Hill. I arrived in my EK. Yeah, okay, I know it's a bloody FJ. Hair slicked back. I saw the Sheila in tangerine socks. Hair pitch black. And she walked right by me. And she said, "You wanna boogie with me, baby? You wanna move with me, baby? You wanna groove with me, baby?" Well, I strolled across the dance floor. Love's full. And I looked her right in the eye. Real cool. And I said nothing. And she said, "You wanna boogie with me, baby? You wanna move with me, baby? You wanna groove with me, baby?" Well, me and Christine, we got on okay. So I took her home in my EK. She's chewing on juicy fruit, and I'm chewing on PK. One hand on the wheel, arm around her neck, the other hand going down, turning on the radio. They're playing our favourite song. You wanna boogie with me, baby? You wanna move with me, baby? You wanna groove with me, baby? Teary eyes at the window. Where did Mum and Dad go? I wish someone would hurry up and come and get me, Jill. I'm scared. The cat shot through, she saw the light and fled. Cracker night was a real big deal when I was a little kid. I started letting them off after tea. I ran inside and hid. And all the dogs from everywhere were underneath me bed. We all went down in our dressing gowns to see the big bonfire. Wide eyes watched the straw man burn on a mile-high pile of tiles. Hot as hell, big black smell and red-hot rings of wine. Skyrockets singing Catherine wheels spinning. What a flaming evening. Fire trucks were screaming. Smoky haze hanging round for days, and Grandma's ears were ringing. Every night after school, dragging bits of wood, boxes and branches and rotten old fences, and mattresses were good. We even scrounged a vinyl lounge and anything we could. Little Guy Fawkes and letter boxes blown all out of shape. Light the wick and rack off quick and make the big escape. Cacking ourselves and ripping me shirt, scrambling through the gate. Skyrockets singing, Catherine wheels spinning. What a flaming evening. Fire trucks were screaming. Smoky haze hanging round for days, and Grandma's ears were ringing. Then a house burned down on the edge of town. We all took off with Pa, when this thing whizzed across the road and nearly hit our car. A bang and spark lit up the park, and everyone went, oh, cracker night was a real big deal when I was a little kid. Seems like only yesterday, tucked away in bed, dreams of schemes and double bunger, daring things we did. You can almost touch the ocean, shimmering in the distant haze, as you stand there on the mountain, on this loveliest day of days. Round half the world you've drifted, left no wild oats unsown. But now your view has shifted, and you think you just come home. And you're drowning in the sunshine as it pours down from the sky. And there's something stirring in your heart, bright colours fill your eyes, as from here to the far horizon your beauty does unfold. And oh, you look so lovely, dressed in green and gold. To the homeless and the hungry, may we always open doors. May the restless and the weary find safe harbour on our shores. May she always be our dream time place, our spirit's glad release. May she always be our shelter. May we always live in peace. May we always live in peace. Cost me $30 to fix the budgie, when the little blighter only cost me $5. The veterinary surgeon saw me coming, but I had to keep my feathered friend alive. He was shaking on his perch, the kids were crying. The family gathered round his little cage. I said I thought it's time we got a new one. That's when the family went into a rage. For the waiting room ponged like a rat house, with heartworms and lungworms and lice. And a Persian had her eye on my shoebox. I suppose she thought our budgie might be nice. Well, the bird pooped on the veterinary surgeon. I heard him say, the dirty little chick. I guess he wondered why I didn't use my brains and hit him over the head with a brick. Oh, antibiotics for his colour, 2 drops a day on his beak, some powder on the nose for his feathers, and clean out his cage twice a week. Well, it cost me $30 to fix the budgie, when the little blighter only cost me $5. And the bludger wakes me early in the morning. It's got me puzzled how he survives. One night I'm gonna feed him to the tomcat, instead of worrying about him when we go away. 'Cause no one wants to feed a shitty budgie when everyone's on holidays. Oh, antibiotics for his colour, 2 drops a day on his beak, some powder on the nose for his feathers, and clean out his cage twice a week.
I think I'm a traditional farmer that has dogs and usually hates cats. It's sort of something that you sort of get brought up with because, I don't know, you teach the dogs to sool onto the cats, and especially when you see a bush cat. And I have this tradition of a dislike of cats, and even when I now live in the suburbs, that same tradition carries on. But I can't stand the fact that if I have a dog, he isn't allowed to go over the fence, but a cat can do what he likes. But apart from that, of course, the thing that really annoys me is that people dump cats in the bush, and then they breed up and destroy a lot of our native animals and birds. And of course, I think they should be destroyed and not dumped at all. But at least if they haven't got the be all or end all or whatever it is to destroy a cat, well, at least they should de-sex the cat. And this is the message I'm trying to get across in Bill the Cat. And there's nothing like a funny song to make people listen to a serious message.
We had a cat, his name was Bill. He caught our budgie on the windowsill. One holy day, one Sunday morn, left only feathers on our back lawn. Oh no, Bill, you can't do that, you silly pussy, you stupid cat. So we took him down, our family pet, and we left his balls with the family vet. Well, the very next day, he packed his bags, left all his penthouse and Playboy mags. How could we do it to the family pet? Go and leave his balls with the family vet. get no postcards, no telephone calls. He's out in the bush somewhere with no balls. And he's obsessed with sweet revenge. So he eats our parrots and our fairy wrens. Yes, he's mortified, and we all regret that we left his balls with the family bear. This is the chorus, join me now. Yes, he's mortified, and we all regret that we left his balls. We always get that line first, right? Now he's highly sought by the feral choir for his newfound talent to sing much higher. Has no more time for female friends, only parrots and fairy wrens. No sense of humour, ex-family pet. He's still angry, he's still upset. It still hurts, he can't forget that we left his balls with the family bear. Chorus now, come on. Yes, he's mortified, and we all regret that we left his balls with the family bear. One more time. Yes, he's mortified, and we all regret that we left his balls with the family bear. Having a bobby by the river with no one else around, a tropical honeymoon knocking a forex down. She was standing in the water eating a pumpkin scone when she was gone, and they were doing the crocodile roll. The woman and the reptile doing the crocodile roll in the middle of the river. Down came a husband with a gun and a carving knife to slaughter every crocodile for taking his darling wife. You overgrown goannas, you can't go around eating Queensland at all. I'll turn you all into shoes. It was in the news and they were doing the crocodile roll. The husband and the reptile doing the crocodile roll in the middle of the river. Down came his bloodhound with mangy curly hair, picked up the scent, away he went, ass in the air. Then the dog got carried away and ran out on a log. Guess what? No more dog. And they were doing the crocodile roll. The canine and the reptile doing the crocodile roll in the middle of the river. Down came a wild pig, rooting all about. The little swine drank the wine and really pigged it out. Then the crocodile chased him round. Then the little pig set up yours. You know, another croc's jaws, and they were doing the crocodile roll. The porker and the reptile doing the crocodile roll in the middle of the river. There's no moral to the story, just a brand new dance. Grab your partner by the neck and swing your crocodile pants. Dip your toe in the water. Are you ready for romance? Swirl your tail around the floor. Go on, take a chance. how you doing the crocodile roll? Stirring up the mud, doing the crocodile roll. In the middle of the river, they were doing the crocodile roll. Stirring up the mud crabs, doing the crocodile roll. In the middle of the river.
One of the greatest scenes, I think, in Australia is a dead tree in full bloom. That's covered in galahs, and it's just like a flowering tree if there's enough of them. I saw it in Burke recently. Tree is absolutely covered in galahs. It's a glorious picture, and I just imagine I come up with this idea of a gallery of galahs there, like a city all sitting up in a big grandstand having a laugh at you. And galahs are great birds, of course. If you see them during mating season, they're real show-offs. They hang upside down and swing like pendulums and do the loop-to-loop, and they are crazy animals. You can understand why the expression is silly as a galah, he's a silly galah. But it was there was when I was on the road around the northwest of New South Wales, I was in a little town called Ashford that was suffering badly from a drought, and the trees, a lot of the trees seem to be dying from mistletoe, and that's where I got the line where in a bad drought only the strong saplings survive, and this town was dying. I mean, all the blinds were down, and all the general store had closed, and of course this has been happening because of bitumen roads as much as anything else, but. And of course the droughts really make towns die a lot quicker, I think.
Galleries of pink galahs, crystal nights with diamond stars, apricots preserved in jars. That's my home. Land of oceans in the sun, purple hazes, river gum. Breaks your heart when rain won't come. It breaks your heart. It takes a harsh and cruel drought to sort the weaker saplings out. It makes room for stronger trees. Maybe that's what life's about. Winter's come, the hills are brown. Shops are closed, the blinds are down. Everybody's leaving town. They can't go on. South wind through veranda goes, winds and bangs the homestead doors. A mother curses dusty floors and feels alone. Trucks and bulk bins filled with rust. Boy leaves home to make a crust. A father's dreams reduced to dust, but he must go on. Tortured red gums unashamed, sunburnt country wisely named, chisel ploughed and wire claimed, but never, never, never tamed. Whirlwind swirls a paper high, Same old news of further drive, of broken clouds just passing by. That's my home. Land of oceans in the sun, purple hazes, river gum. Breaks your heart when rain won't come. It breaks your heart. A city girl is happy with her friends and family life, appreciates a wine with him at night. She tries to find the sparkle, she searches but it's gone. With lots of love she hopes he'll be all right. Her man has gone all quiet, he's not at ease. He doesn't feel at home, he's hard to please. He gets itchy feet, he's tired of noises in the street. He needs to walk for hours through the trees. No, a bushman can't survive on city lights. Opera, rock and roll and height of heights. His moon shines on the silver brigalow, shimmers down the inland river flow, out there where the yellow belly bites. He's working with his hands today on a building site. He can smell the cypress on the floor. It takes him to a sandy ridge out amongst the pines. No shearing, no ploughing anymore. His kelpie dog is tired and fast asleep, sick of searching gardens for the sheep. His master doesn't whistle tunes, he's not in the mood. His love of open spaces runs too deep. No, a bushman can't survive on city lights. Opera, rock and roll and height of heights. His moon shines on the silver brigalow, shimmers down the inland river flow, out there where the yellow belly bites. He tries to please his woman, the lady of his life. He's standing at a party with a plate. She finds him on the balcony, staring at the moon. That old familiar face he can relate. His moon shines on the silver brigalow, shimmers down the inland river flow, out there where the yellow belly bites. cuddly one. He's just a beachcomber from Wollongong, a metal detector from Wollongong. Gold watch, a diamond ring. Sometimes he doesn't find a thing. He's just a beachcomber from Wollongong, all alone around Wollongong. The old codger sure looks strange, hoping to find some Kembla Grange around Wollongong. Wollongong, he's just a beachcomber from Wollongong. Headphones around Wollongong. He doesn't care about rips and curls. He doesn't notice the pretty girls around Wollongong. Wollongong. He's just a beachcomber from Wollongong, an old stealer from Wollongong. He's part of the scene like a painted post, like a seagull on the leisure coast. He's just a beachcomber from Wollongong, a dapto dog around Wollongong. He doesn't stop to smell a rose since the sandfly went up his nose, up his nose. Around Wollongong. Thank you.
I'm a songwriter, and it is my craft, and I don't think I ever stop being a songwriter. I don't think I ever will. If someone says something to me, it might be at a party where everyone's had a few, and someone will say something. It could set off a song. That it's just the statement says, I just want to write. It was like my mate Tony Dennett said, all Australian boys need a shed. I knew we had a song straight off, you know. And the same thing happened to me when I was on this DC3. We were flying around the Gulf of Carpentaria, performing at little mining towns, Gove and Weipa. And the call sign of the aircraft was PWN, Papa Whiskey November. Well, I was born in November, and you know, Papa Whiskey. It just sounded great, and I thought, well, I was having a great time on the plane anyway. Sheila, the air hostess, there was just one air hostess and two pilots. She was in love with the pilot, so the whole thing felt like a 1940s movie to me. She even wore a hairstyle that suited the 40s, and they played Glenn Miller music, and apparently Glenn Miller crashed in a plane just like this whole DC3, and that was their sense of humour. But it was a wonderful trip, and I had the song written virtually by the time it had landed.
Papa Whiskey November, from Weipa the way to fly. She was in love with the pilot, and he was in love with the sky. And they played the moonlight serenade over Cape York Peninsula, down the coast to the Daintree, Queensland, Australia, where you can go up the river in a beautiful dugout canoe. But don't use your hand for a paddle, crocodile waiting for you. And don't step on a death adder or tread in the cattle poo. Just walk in the Garden of Eden with a big fella palm cockatoo. Papa Whiskey November, from Weipa the way to fly. She was in love with the pilot, and he was in love with the sky. Hey! Now my brother, he works for Camalco, driving the big machine. My sister, she works in the motel, she washes his overalls clean. My mother, she knows the bush tucker, she knows that one, you know what I mean. And you could end up a dead fella, so don't eat the gidgee bean. Papa Whiskey November, from we bar the way to fly. She was in love with the pilot, and he was in love with the sky. Now they're talking about a space station to send up the satellite. They don't tell much to the people, but the people, they have the right to hold on to their dreaming, a nature world unknown, a golden opportunity to leave this old earth alone. Papa Whiskey November, from we bar the way to fly. She was in love with the pilot, and he was in love with the sky. And they played the moonlight serenade of the Cape York Peninsula, and down the coast to the Daintree, Queensland, Australia. Yes! Well, they couldn't understand why the drover cried as they buried the drover's boy. The drover had always seemed so hard to the men in his employ. The bolting horse, the stirrup lost, and the drover's boy was dead. The shoveled dirt, the mumbled word, and it's back to the road ahead. And forget about the drover's boy. And they couldn't understand why the drover cut the lock of the dead boy's hair, put it in the band of his battered old hat as they watched him standing there. And he told them, take the cattle on, I'll sit with the boy a while. A silent thought, a pipe to smoke, and it's right another mile. And forget about the drover's boy. Forget about the drover's boy. And they couldn't understand why the drover and the boy always camped so far away. The tall white man and the thin black boy never had much to say. And the boy would be up at the break of dawn, tail the horses, carry on, while the drover roused the sleeping men. Daylight, hit the road again, and follow the drover's boy. Follow the drover's boy. In the Camberwell pub they talked about the death of the drover's boy. The drank their rum with a stranger who'd come from the Kimberley Run, Fitzroy. And he told of the massacre in the west, barest details, guess the rest. Shoot the bucks, grab a gin, cut her hair, break her in. Call her a boy, the drover's boy. Call her a boy, the drover's boy. So when they build that Stockman's Hall of Fame and they talk about the droving game, remember the girl who was bedmate and guide, rode with the drovers side by side, faithful wife but never a bride, bred his sons for the cattle run. Don't weep for the drover's boy, don't mourn for the drover's boy, but don't forget the drover's boy.
Again.
When I come walking down Waratah Street, wear a red dress and your red shoes and your red lips, pop a red wine, 'cause I've got a rose to put in your hair. When I come walking down Waratah Street like the movies, misty moonlight, in my white suit and my black tie, I'll have a rose to put in your hair. Yeah, I could spring a big surprise on you tonight. My heart is saying yes, 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 it's gonna be alright. Yeah, I could spring a big surprise, hold you tight and look in your eyes and say I love you. When I come walking down Waratah Street, put on Ray Charles on piano and light a candle through the window, 'cause I'll have a rose to put in your hair. Yeah, I could spring a big surprise on you tonight. My heart is saying yes, 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 it's gonna be alright. Yeah, I could spring a big surprise, hold you tight and look in your eyes and say I love you. Ned Kelly came round to see me today. I guess I was dreaming, oh, dumbfounded I couldn't think what to say. Oh, 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 oh. I beckoned him in, but he shook his head. He said, I'm a bit grubby and a bit poorly bred. I'd rather we yarned out the back in the shed. I can leave my boots on that way. Well, he took a stiff whiskey and laid down his gun. He said, I won't keep you long, 'cause I've gotta run, gotta ride to the mountains before night is done. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He said, words got around about the music you play. You truly believe in the fair income way, that the bush must remain for our spirit to stay, and we must have a flag of our own. He said, I learned long ago when I was still young, like the lizard that spits and sticks out his tongue. Oh, the way to get shot is to carry a gun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a new world order, the leaders all shout, and everyone's frantic, they're gonna miss out. And the red, white and blues are still marching about. Oh, we must have a flag of our own. This is Australia, and that's where we're from. We're not Yankee sidekicks or second-class comms. And tell the frogs what they can do with their bomb. And we must have a flag of our own. Yeah, this is Australia, and that's where we're from. We're not Yankee sidekicks or second-class comms. And tell the frogs what they can do with their bomb, and we must have a flag of our own.
I consider that I'm an average Aussie, you know. I don't think there's any difference between me singing a song about something to an audience than there is to me talking to a mate at a bar. Now, I wouldn't censor what I felt about issues as I was talking to someone at the bar, and I don't think there should be any difference when I'm writing songs. It's I think that's what Australia's about. It's a really open, democratic, free sort of a country where people should be able to speak their mind, and it's obvious I feel very passionate about having a flag that doesn't promote another country. And I feel very passionately towards our environment, especially our native natural habitat. And whilst I can lose friends, or I might lose friends over it, I don't think I should, because I mean, if I said something to a bloke at the bar that I thought, well, he might be a timber person, I might say to him, well, you know, it's your job, fair enough, but really I think we should be more careful of what timber we use, for what purposes, and I believe that that the old forests should be left as they are. After all, we've knocked over a huge amount. I've knocked over a lot myself, being on the land, and I try to be reasonable about it. And it is, I guess, the power of the song is getting stronger for me because I'm becoming more popular. I mean, but I have been singing these sort of songs for a long time, and they haven't had a lot of impact. It's only in recent times that I've gained power, if you like, and I don't see the word power as a dirty word. I mean, it's been great for the koalas, when I wrote the song for the koalas, Macquarie. But what I'd like to say about Rip Rip is that I'm getting a wonderful reaction from kids all over Australia that send in their letters and they draw, you know, native habitat being pushed over with the koalas in it, and they don't really think that I'm talking just about the Southeast Alliance or about any forest in particular. It's just a general attitude that I think is great for kids to have, and that is to care about our environment. So I think it's very important to put a good message into songs.
What am I gonna do? What about the future? Gotta draw the line without delay. Why shouldn't I get emotional? The bush is sacred. Ancient life will fade away. Over the hill I go, killing another mountain. Gotta fill the quota, can't go slow. Huge machinery wiping out the scenery. One big swipe like a shearer's blow. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, no news today. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Chainsaw, ice or more decay. Remember the axemen knew their timber, cared about the way they brought it down. Cross-cut black butt, tallow wood and cedar, build another bungalow, pioneer town. I am the bush and I am koala, we are one, go hand in hand. I am the bush like Banjo and Henry, it's in my blood, gonna make a stand. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, no news today. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Chainsaw, ice or more decay. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, no news today. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Chainsaw, ice or more decay. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, don't understand. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Stirs my blood, gonna make a stand. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, don't understand. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Stirs my blood, gonna make a stand. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, don't understand. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Stirs my blood, gonna make a stand. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, don't understand. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? There's a message from the outback, a murmur on the breeze, from restless dreams awakened me this morning. The message came from Uluru, her spirits ill at ease, in ancient voices sounding out a warning. You've taken all you wanted, I heard the anguished cry. The time has come to say enough before the well runs dry. This is Australia calling. This is Australia calling. Here comes the future, time to fire up. Gonna find a way to get this country rolling. Doom and gloom is easy, we gotta shake it off. Gotta get up early in the morning. The honeymoon is over, backs against the wall. This is Australia calling. This is Australia calling. This is Australia calling. This is Australia calling. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? This is Australia calling. This is Australia calling.
As a songwriter, my future, I believe, is always my next songs, you know, and to me that's always the biggest adventure, because it's such a wonderful thing to create a new song from nothing, and that's always the biggest thrill for me when if I'm co-writing, we come up with a new idea. It has something for me at that period, at that time, that you never feel afterwards, because sometimes it's 2 years before you record, and by then you're almost sick of it. But for me, the future is the songs that I'm going to write for Australia and so on. And that could also involve songs that I'm inspired to write from going overseas, because that's part of my future, immediate future. We are going to test the waters in Ireland and Scotland and England for a start. And I know that my music will work eventually in America too, but I want to just try the waters where it's probably safer for a start. So who knows where I'm going to go from there. I know I'm going to write a lot of... So I can't wait to go to Ireland. I think there's got to be a song or two there. And but so I keep coming back to the songs that I'm going to come up with, and that'll be my strength overseas. I think it'll be the songs I write that relates to the people over there as an Australian. But I'll always be an Australian, and this is always where I'll live. And people should never worry that I'm going to forsake Australia, because this is where I want to live. And the reason I'm going over there is to, as much as anything, is to show people overseas what Aussies are really like, rather than trying to compromise and write half American songs or whatever.
Hey, true blue, don't say you've gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoke out, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue. Hey, true blue. Give it to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dawn